Hi, I'm Jeremy, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. One of the most encouraging passages in the Bible is Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 through 24. Let me read it for you. Through the Lord's mercies we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I hope in him. It's a great reminder that the God we serve is dependable, both in his love for us and his mercy toward us. He is faithful with a great faithfulness. He is our portion and the source of our hope. It's beautifully worded, and it's really, really easy to take out of context. The book of Lamentations is a book of pain and suffering. It's a eulogy for the city of Jerusalem in the aftermath of its destruction. After centuries of disobedience and wickedness, God allowed the Babylonians to come in and level the city, dragging the survivors into captivity. Jeremiah the prophet was likely the author of the book of Lamentations. He spent years pleading with the nation of Judah to repent and return to God, and watched helplessly as they refused to act on his words. In the end, he watched as his own nation was torn to pieces by an entirely avoidable fate. Lamentations is the funeral dirge of a devastated onlooker. Let me read Lamentations 2, verses 11 through 12 out of the Net Bible. My eyes are worn out from weeping. My stomach is in knots. My heart is poured out on the ground due to the destruction of my helpless people. Children and infants faint in the town squares. Children say to their mothers, "Where are food and drink?" They faint like a wounded warrior in the city squares. They die slowly in their mother's arms. That's the scene. That's the thread of pain and tragedy woven through all 5 chapters of Lamentations. And that is what makes today's passage so incredible. The author of Lamentations, presumably Jeremiah, is knee-deep in the bloody aftermath of Jerusalem's destruction. Everywhere he looks, there is suffering, there is misery, there is hopelessness. In the middle of all that, he says, actually, God's compassions haven't failed, and actually, they're new every morning, and actually, he is dependable and faithful and the unfailing source of our hope. That is an incredible thing to be able to say when your home has been reduced to rubble and your countrymen are either prisoners or dead. But the author says it. His hope is in the same God who allowed this tragedy. I want that kind of faith. I want to be able to face the darkest moments of this life with the confidence that God is just and true and dependable and unchanging. I want to be able to continue hoping in him, knowing that he has a plan and a reason for everything. But I think that kind of faith isn't forged during the tragedy. It's forged before the tragedy. It's a faith that's built up and reinforced before we find ourselves in the darkness, because we've taken the time to understand who God is and why we can trust him. In this life, there will be times to lament, to weep and mourn, to hurt and feel pain. But there will never be a time to stop putting our trust in God. Through the Lord's mercies, we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I hope in him.
Verse by Verse is a Life, Hope, and Truth podcast. Check out the show notes to find more free content, like videos, articles, and booklets in our Learning Center.